Hey everybody, hope you're all well. It's Monday, May 5th, 2025, about 5:20 p.m. Eastern. I want to get this video out to you guys before the reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern. Still feeling pretty sick. I've got the flu, so it's going up and down. Didn't really sleep a wink last night. It hit me in the throat really hard yesterday evening, and then all night my throat. I thought I was gonna have strep throat, and then it went to my nose in the middle of the night. I couldn't breathe. Um, yeah, so my daughter brought it home from kindergarten and just smoking me right now, but managed to sleep in a little later than usual due to not live streaming. I couldn't, it would have just killed me to get out of bed this morning. So I was like, I couldn't do it. So I hope you guys understand that. Ended up having a good day on my personal account. I did a video on it for you guys to see. If you haven't watched it, you can go to the VPE strategy channel or the YouTube channel or wherever. You see, I was pretty sure at this stage in the day, we were just going to head higher. 10,000 was heading up. I started here like around 10:30 Eastern because I woke up at about 8:30 Costa Rica time and I turned on my computer, had the laptop in bed, and I was just monitoring this. When I saw this little flash, in line with this trend run up, this is kind of what I've been talking to you guys about, the trend playbook that I posted that video on, and we'll take a look at some of those as well. From today, but this is it. Basically you're going with the higher time period trend. Just wait for a move down to the congestion support level on the lower time period. And if you get a pattern like a flash here, buy it, or a pocket here, buy it. I bought both of these and yeah, had a good day. I think I made, I don't know, like 40 some odd points on this one on 4 contracts. So that was like, whatever that was, 3,400 bucks. And then this one I just put on 1 contract. I'll do that a lot too, guys. Like if I felt really, really good about this trade, and I'm in bed and I'm sick. I'm like, but I liked it. So I was like, you know what? I'm willing to risk, 1,300 bucks, whatever it was on this trade. And when I made $3,416, whatever that was, um, felt like, okay, that's my big, that's a nice day, right? And I don't, guys, I don't make $5,000 a day, right? I wait for the days, there's usually a few days a week, a couple days a week where I see something I really like this, and then yeah, I'll take 4 grand, 5 grand out of the market in that moment because I feel that good about that trade. It's using VolPro Edge. It's knowing, I don't know how to describe it, but you just know you're in sync with what the daily is doing in that moment, and you see a perfect pattern, and you can't not bet big on it because that's why we're here, make money, right? So you got to know when to bet bigger. And then once I made that money, that's what I was like on this pullback. It's like, okay, I could have gone 4 contracts again. I know, but I was so content with the 3,400 there. I'm like, you know what? If I just make like another 800 to 1,000 bucks on 1 contract, that's going to put me to like a $4,200 day. I'll be really happy with that. So that's just what I did. And that's how I ended. And I was happy with that. I was watching this at the end of the day. And this is where, guys, if you just use VolPro Edge, right? Like this came down. This is not really it's kind of a big pocket, but I was eyeing this because had this closed here above the extension, yeah, I may have considered buying that for a pushback up here, but all you gotta do is wait for the close, and here it closed below all this. So I was like, well, I'm not buying that. I'm done for the day. Turn off the computer, book my 2 wins, and just had a good day. So don't feel great, but at least made a little bit of money from my bet. Um, I think I'll be able to wake up in the morning tomorrow. I'm gonna do my best. So we'll count on live streaming tomorrow morning together. It feels like I'm through the worst of it. Last night was not fun. Yeah, so that was the Nasdaq. Looking here too at the intraday chart. This is from this video I posted. If you guys haven't seen it in the trading course section, it's just a very simple mechanical way to, trade trends and work on that approach. And it works very, very well, guys. So I haven't even looked at the TradingView hourly charts today, but here's S&P 500, right? So let's just see. I swear to God, I don't know what's going on here, right? So if you follow the instructions from this video I just put out on Sunday for the trend trading, well, you would say close 1, close 2, close 3. Okay, you're trending on the hourly S&P 500. Higher highs, that's good. Higher lows, that's good. So then on that one right there, right, that's 11 o'clock. So let's find the exact one there. Is it here? Pretty much. Maybe it's that one. Yeah, exactly. So heading into the, I guess the 12 o'clock close. I don't know. I still haven't figured out TradingView. So here you would just do what I suggested, which is, you wait for a pullback into the congestion support level. And here, yeah, you had a nice pullback here. Maybe your stop got hit there. So, that's fine. Maybe not, depending on where you stop that. But the basic idea is that that's how you'll get on to trend runs by, looking for the hourly that's trending, wait for the 15-minute to pull back to a congestion support level. Yeah, sometimes you get shaken out, but no harm, no foul. You just, find the next one, find the next one. So if we look quickly at, the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq on the hourly here. This is why you can use Sierra charts if you want to use the volume charts like I like to use, but you can also use the hourly chart and the 15-minute chart on TradingView, right? So here is close one, close two, close three. Same thing on the Nasdaq. And sometimes, guys, if they happen all at the same time, right, you'll have to make a decision on which one you want to trade, right? That's really important. So let's see. I guess that would be right about that one there. Yeah, so I mean, there's your pullback right there. If you're able to get in there at 21.20, okay, maybe you got taken out on that. It's hard to tell, but still, you can see the overall idea works very, very well. And you guys, like I said in that video, you can make a decision if you want to, wait for perfect setups. There you're breaking the extension and the congestion. So, you're in a pocket, but you are breaking those. So that might give you a clue that you're going to test lower before you go higher, right? Probably the same thing on ES at that time. That was right there. Yeah, see, ES is breaking that. So, and then look, let's even say you got taken out there. Well, on the very next bar, you have confirmation that the congestion support level on the 15-minute chart on ES is holding now because you're sucking up support's holding. Go long again. You're still with this trend. Go long and then off you go. And then you got to make the decision where you want to get out. Probably not a bad spot there, up at that extension. But these are the nuances. Anyways, I hope you guys are starting to look at that trend playbook because it's powerful. And as you start to test it out a little bit and start to see your own preferences and your own nuances, I think you're going to do really well with it. So, yeah, I mean, let's just look at a couple more markets because why not? This is fun. This is why we're here. So gold, the end of day call on gold was fantastic yesterday with the daily pocket. I said if we start moving up and through those DMLs, this could be big because you're in a weekly pocket. Sorry, it wasn't a daily pocket. It was a weekly pocket support, which is very big, right? So look at gold, guys. You trade in London. Check this out. One, that's just above right there. Two, three. There's your three closes. You're trending higher highs, higher lows, right there on gold, at 3 right there. So you go back here to the 15-minute chart, right? And let's find that. It's going to basically be right there. That's the close right there on the 15-minute chart, guys. Boom. When you have your trend trading playbook qualifying right there. And then look, guys and gals. I know. Sorry, KLR. I always say guys. It's like to everybody. But I know we do have some women in here as well. So you see there's the pullback. You're into that side of that pocket. You're holding right there, the congestion and extension trend lines, and off you go. So you see the playbook works. And I encourage you to play around with it and make it your own. And guys, there's no reason if you don't start applying yourself right now that you can't start doing very well right now. I mean, the two trades that I made $4,200 on today on the Nasdaq were essentially this playbook, right? The 50,000 chart was trending up, and the 10,000 gave me a nice pullback to the congestion support level. And it's never easy money. I don't want to say it's easy money, but it's it beats digging ditches out in the 100-degree heat in Costa Rica. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I would encourage you to share setups with each other and start exploring that trend playbook. And when I have time, I'll move on to the next playbook and you guys can share your notes and, get all that going, because VolPro Edge works when you use it correctly, right? Like anything, you got to use it correctly. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead, guys, and jump into the analysis. I know that was about a 9-minute was going off course there, but I think these things are really important to share, and we should talk about these things, you know? All right, so for the end of day analysis for today on ES, still trending strongly. Couldn't really get through the trend DML and the true average there. So still kind of hard to tell, to be honest, because you do have these DMLs above us here. So I think there's going to be some resistance up here. It kind of looks like you see this trend run. We're moving now kind of inside the envelope. So we'll see, but it looks like there might want to be some resistance here, maybe for an attempt to enter congestion down, because maybe we need to just come back to the weekly true average here before we maybe push higher. So that'd be 5,600. So you can see that that's lining up right here at about this level here. So I'm not really clear on what indices want to do right now. I'd have to wait and see what Asia and London do with them. This is just my what I'm seeing right now, but it's not something I would, get excited and throw a trade on and bet short. Absolutely not. Be looking to see if the price action during Asia and London is confirming what I'm talking about here. I think you're going to have a lot of support down here, and I think some temporary resistance here before we probably try to push maybe up to 5,800 by the end of the week, because you got these core DMLs up here. You've got that extension. Those want to get tested, guys. They're like magnets. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking for on ES. NQ is going to be similar, no doubt, but we'll go ahead and load it real quick. Yeah, so NQ, you've got a little bit more of a pocket there, but again, you've got these, just like ES, you've got the core DMLs above you. So I'm not really sure, to be honest here. I would think that there's probably going to be some resistance up here to try to push us down to the true average, but I want to wait and see. Not clear, okay? So just you guys know on the days when I say, hey, this is a clear pattern, look out for this. When the clear patterns are there, that's when you kind of go for it. And when they're not there, you just wait for it to get clear. Sometimes it gets clear during the day. Like today, it got clear that when the middle of the daily envelope was holding on Nasdaq, it looked like we were going to push the rest of the day, and we did until that dump at the close. But even then, if you follow VolPro Edge and use your levels, you'll see the intraday lower time period DML support levels are breaking, so they're not confirming the buy. All right, so here's the Dow. I mean, these markets kind of look like they want to go higher, guys. I mean, the way we held support here on the Dow on the monthly, yeah, right now on the weekly, that's true. You're in this pocket and you got the extension here, but I don't know. May want to just head back down here first, 40,800, but the Dow daily trend still looks very strong. You got the DMLs against you here, but I wouldn't really bet on those. See, and then you say, okay, well, with the weekly, Andy, that's a nice little pocket. You got the extension, you got these DMLs. Why wouldn't you want to short that? Well, because on the monthly, we're coming out of a huge exhaust down here that we closed way back up in here, and now there's a bunch of support potentially here. That could drive us up and through some of this, or at least push higher into it as we at least reach for the extension there on the Dow at 42,500. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens right now. But still, the daily is certainly in a strong trend on the upside, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them get knocked back a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. The opposite's also true, guys, right? So if we just open and start to push up and we're banging, and then we just start getting through all that, okay, well then maybe there we go, right? So you just have to watch it unfold. All right, the Russell, we don't really have to look at. Let's look at the 10-year Treasury. All right, for the 10-year Treasury, we said we expected notes and bonds to continue to be under pressure because of that big congestion entrance move to the downside. We broke the extension, we broke the congestion, we had the core DML above us. So that you see, guys, if you just follow the roadmap, follow the road signs, it's not perfect, nothing is, but it's good. Gives you really accurate reads on directions and levels, when to trade, when not to trade, and then you just gotta be patient and wait for your spots. So looking at the weekly here on the 10-year, that coming out of that pocket, that's why I think we're headed back down here. So I think it's probably going to continue to be weak here. The monthly certainly looks like it wants to push back down here. So it looks like the treasuries are going to be under pressure. Let's go ahead and look at gold. So gold, if you recall in yesterday's video, and guys, I mean, if you're here, I'd really encourage you, if you care about your trading and you want to get better, I want you guys to make a lot of money. That's why I'm doing this. You know, if you're here, I mean, use your time wisely, and at the with these analysis videos, take notes, come up with your own action plan that you want to trade and start using it to make money. Like, you can do it. You've got the power and you've got to believe in yourself. That's really important. So gold yesterday, I said, yeah, we had that really strong weekly pocket. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. Talked about that in the video. And I said, yeah, there's a flash on the monthly, but we still have a lot of support here, which is why I thought that weekly pocket would probably be strong. And look, all of our DMLs were perfect. Core DMLs underneath us, the extension, just beautiful. I wish I would have taken this. I didn't, because I was sick last night. I didn't have time to stay up and see whether or not this was going to start breaking. But as soon as I said this in the video, as soon as we started to break up and through these, I said, watch this level here. He's heading into the day. That was technically resistance because it's above you, but we would expect that could break, because why? You're coming out of that strong weekly pocket, right? So if you're coming out of that strong weekly pocket, then as this starts to break, I mean, you can jump on and go. And then of course the trend playbook with the hourly and the 15 nailed it. I know you guys aren't in, a lot of you are not in the European time zone. Some of you are. I mean, that was a gift, right? Um, so I didn't take it, but look, I'll take my money wherever I get it. Today I got on the Nasdaq. That was great. So today for gold, I mean, yeah, look, we're breaking the extension, right? So just look at the road signs. We're probably going to keep pushing higher into this pocket up here on gold. Um, so you got to say there's going to be a lot of support down here, probably at 3,300. You got these DMLs that got broken. They're now support. You got the true average there. So, you know, just look for support in here on gold. Certainly don't be shorting gold, guys. Let's look at silver. Yeah, so silver, I mean, gosh, you've got a really, really nice monthly pocket here. Really nice. Probably wants to cycle from the envelope bottom here on the monthly back to the envelope top, guys. $32 to 35 and change. That's a nice little move right there for silver. So if we think the monthly wants to do that, well, the weekly, right? We're in congestion. We got a nice pocket like in gold. Extension is holding. We're starting to push. We're probably headed back up here, aren't we? Because the weekly is cycling. Just use the basic methodology, guys, the basic theory. Probably pushing back up here. So if the daily is trending down and you think the weekly is in congestion, going to push back up to the envelope, you think the monthly is pushing higher, what should the daily do? The daily should, number one, go for congestion entrance up. Okay, that box is checked. It did that today. So now, would you be looking to short silver? No. Where would you be looking at long? Well, you know, these look nice right here. These DMLs right inside this live pocket that's forming, right? Why is that a live pocket? Because it would only make it a completed pocket if you got a close down there, and then that would set up your closed pocket, right? But there's a chance right now you've got the live pocket. So if we fish down into these DMLs and close back up in here, this reaction level is gonna, you know, be up here. So you're not gonna have the closed pocket there yet, right? So this is how you got to plan these trades. So that's what I'd be looking for on silver. That's right into 32.25. Not a bad spot there. Let's go ahead and look at some copper. Let this load. All right, we're still loading here, but copper, you can see the monthly chart looks pretty darn good, I gotta say. Nice pocket, held the extension congestion DMLs, sucked back up, holding here, probably wants to push. That's why I think with the metals looking like they want to push, not just gold, which is the flight to safety metal, but also silver, which is, yeah, precious, but also very industrial, right? With lithium ion batteries, solar panels, all the stuff silver's used in. Gold is kind of an industrial metal as well, you know, for like wires and things like that. But copper, silver, the non-dominant precious, you know, they're not precious metals in the same sense as gold. Silver's a little more than copper, but you guys get what I'm saying. It looks like these industrial metals want to push. So if they want to push, then it looks like stocks might be now in the beginning of some kind of recovery. It's still too early to tell, but that's why the indices look to me like they want to try and push a little harder. Now, if they start their next leg down, we'll use VolPro Edge to read the charts, and you know, we'll be ahead of the game like we always are. But right now, the signs are pointing to indices wanting to push higher. Um, you know, bonds are kind of choppy, trying to roll over a little bit, but not much going on there. But the metals, gold, silver, copper, you know, they got some nice patterns. Copper not as nice as gold or silver because you can see the weekly pocket here, it broke the extension. But the zone from here, the congestion DMLs are holding. So even though you broke that, you still got that zone is holding. I don't know. I don't like it as much as silver or gold at all, but you know, still a lot of support in here. I think copper might, you know, I would be waiting for like a push down. Maybe one day we'll get a closed pocket, and maybe that would be a potential to buy copper like that. So that's what I would wait for. Let's look at platinum because it's Monday and I've got the flu, so we might as well, right? I've got to take my wife to her doctor's appointment in a little bit. Thank goodness for the VolPro Edge mobile. I'm not in the mood to walk with the flu in this heat. The baby's due in about 2 weeks, which is incredible. We'll be going to Escazú, San Jose. You can look Escazú. You can look it up on the Google Maps. That's where we were last time. So we will be there. I think next Tuesday, the 13th. I'm going, but I think we leave at like noon. So I don't plan on our live streaming getting interrupted. I'm gonna try to stick with the programming as usual, even with the baby arriving. Okay, you know, the day the baby arrives, or you know, something like that. If I'm up through the entire night, you know, we might have to take a rain check that day. But other than that, guys, this is my job. I value putting out this content for you guys every day, and I love trading because I love making money. I don't like making money. I love making money. In fact, I felt my flu symptoms getting better as I was making thousands of dollars today. I literally felt physically better. It was fun. I mean, you know, that's what it does. All right, so looking at platinum here, what you can see is it's kind of a mess on platinum. You got more conflicting signals here because the monthly does have this little resistance pocket, but you also did suck up above, you know, so it's kind of battling, just kind of like it's been here. So platinum, we'll still get some good reads on the platinum daily chart sometimes, which is why I'm gonna, you know, check all these markets more frequently. But you say, okay, you have a nice pocket here on platinum. You do, you do. You know, the weekly, you've got a little pocket here. It's true, but pushing up against all this, it's not one where I'm thinking, oh, that's a pocket I've got to take on platinum, you know? So I won't be messing around with platinum. Let's go ahead and look at crude oil. It'll take a few minutes to load. All right, well, crude is loading. I think we did talk about this, right? We said we expected crude to be under pressure because we had this nice pocket and we broke that key support level there. Extension, congestion, DMLs, envelope bottom, 60 bucks. We broke all that. So I said I did expect us to test lower, which is what ended up happening. We had a gap open last night, about $3 to the downside, something like that. So pretty big move to the downside there for crude. The monthly is still, yeah, monthly is kind of conflicting on crude here because you do have this pocket against you, resistance, but then you do have this, you know, extension holding. And this is the way you guys use VolPro Edge. You look for the situations where everything looks good. You just, oh, that looks good, that looks good, that, okay, they all look good. I'm taking the trade. And if anything's kind of, this, yeah, we're holding here, oh, but I got, then just leave it alone, right? That's the beauty. We're in control. We can trade when we want to trade, right? Nobody's forcing us to trade. So now you can see here on the daily crude, you're sucking up into this pocket right here, but we're still trending down. I mean, I wouldn't buy this pocket. Not to say it won't try to push up. I just, it's not really clear right here with crude. So let's wait on crude. We can quickly look at the dollar. I'm guessing, you know, heating oil and gasoline are not going to be clear. We can look at natural gas in a sec. Let's let the euro dollar load. We said with the euro dollar here, it's just very choppy on the weekly chart. Kind of hard to say what's going on. That monthly could be a 2-bar push. Certainly probably want to go back down to 112 at least, because remember, the DMLs are like magnets. So it's probably going to want to come back down here to test this, is what I'm thinking, right? You're running into this quarterly extension right here. You've got some resistance on the yearly right here. So a lot of temporary resistance here for the euro. Dollar might make a little bit of a run. Right here, would I do anything? No, not in this exact situation. So I'd leave the euro alone. Let's go ahead and load natural gas just for fun. And while the natural gas charts are loading, I mean, just look at this monthly. Remember we talked about this? Beautiful flash, true average, nailed it, and bang, congestion entrance down. I mean, these are the things that you guys can do. You want to swing trade? Just wait for these types of trades, put them on, come back in a month, see how you did. They work. Yeah, of course, you got to use bigger stops, things like that. You can't really trade props because you can't just let it ride for the whole month. But if you've got some money behind you and you want to put on some swing trades, you get some great setups. All right, so nat gas is trending up on the daily. Look at that lightning flash down there on the weekly. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, these were kind of broken, but still the flash was nice right into that monthly pocket. This is how you start to use this stuff, guys. Big weekly congestion entrance up move. Kind of hard to say where we're going from here. That's a pretty steep move to the upside. That monthly pocket's probably going to be some support. We've got a lot of support on the quarterly. I think we talked about this right here. Crossover support, right? We're bringing up that VolPro reaction support level above the resistance level there. It's a lot of support right there, right? So that quarterly support level was reinforcing the monthly congestion support level, right? So that's what would give you the clue that the monthly shouldn't break out to a trend reversal, beginning of a trend reversal that way. Instead, the monthly congestion support level should be strong because of where you are on the quarterly. Then you can look at that weekly flash and go, I'll buy that for $1 because it's matching up. The charts are nice. I didn't see this. I wasn't following natural gas. I'm just doing this to teach you guys. But now that I've got VolPro Edge under a little bit more control and catching up on everything, the website's done, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to start paying a lot more attention to these other markets because I'm going to start putting on swing trades like this because why not? You know, just throw on natural gas, throw on a contract or two for the week, you know, come back and, oh, made, you know, 5 grand, 6 grand, whatever that is. It's like, it's there for us. So, all right, so let's go ahead and look at the euro was a mess. And let's see here. Corn and all those. I'm going to start covering them. I just don't really, I'm not in the mood right now. I don't think any of you really trade them right now. Let me know if you do and you want to do your own analysis or ask me. I'm happy to cover it for you, but I just don't think anybody's going to be using it right now. I'm not swing trading just yet, these other markets, but I'm going to start. And when I do, then I'm going to start looking through all these at the end of every day. But I think that gives us a pretty comprehensive end of day analysis. We know what to expect for the next 24 hours. So just take the notes, share your notes, talk in the chat room. We might even set up like a live voice room in the members area where anybody who wants to just go on and share their screen and start talking about setups, you guys can do that with each other. So let me know if you think that'd be fun for all you guys. If you know, I'll stream New York most mornings. Sometimes I'll do gold at night or whatever. But you know, during London or even during New York during the day, if some of you guys who are, you know, sitting there trading all day, guys or girls, you guys want to go in there and, you know, stream your in the members area. So you're not on YouTube. It's not public or anything, but so there's no pressure. But there'll be a live trading room for the members that can just go in there and congregate. And instead of having the chat, you guys can share your screens, talk about things. So that could be pretty cool as well. So that's something we'll probably set up here shortly. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. I wish you luck tonight if you put any trades on. And I will, you know, barring an emergency, which I hope doesn't happen, I will be here tomorrow morning to trade New York with all of you. Okay. Take care. Have a nice evening.